Jana Yamuna Tira Vanachan Yamuna Tira Vanachan Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, 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 Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilidam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthavidam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadadi Swapadandigam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapatagamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sagana Raghunathanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvidam Sam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Gobesha Gopiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Taptaganjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabhanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpadrubhascha Kripa Sindhubhyev Cham Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome back. Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 2. Contents of the Gita summarized, and today's verses 71-72. Last two verses of this chapter. With this chapter is ending. So we'll start with 71. Vihaya kaman ya sarvan pumam sharidin spriham nirmamo nirahankara sashandim adigachari. Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumam sharadinispruha nirmamo nirahankara sashandim adigachari. Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumam sharadinispruha nirmamo nirahankara sashandim adigachari. Yes, Renuka Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. विहाय कामान्यः सर्वान् होमांश्चरति निष्प्रभाः निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः शान्तिम् अधिगच्छति.
Right. Hare Krishna. Right. Chandra.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vihaya Kamanyah Sarvan Pumascharati Nispraha Nirmamo Nirahankara Sashantim Adhigacchati. Hare Krishna.
Okay, good. Ball. Ravi, Prabhu.
हरे प्रभु
Hare Krishna.
विहाय कामान् सर्वान् पुंश्चरित निःस्पृह निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः स शान्तिम् अधिगच्छति.
The first line is Vihaya Kamanya Sarvan Pumamscharati Nispraha.
विहाय कामान् सर्वान्
Pumanscharati
निःस्पृह.
Nispraha. Right. Right. Okay. Ramya Mataji.
Amma palu angam boye kya?
Okay. Right. Raji Mataji, you're there. Can you read? If you want to read, you can read. You are mute. You have to unmute. Okay, right. Renuka Mataji can read the translation.
A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desire, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace.
Right.
Hare
Verse 22. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha Nainam Papya Vimuhyati Sthitaswamandagalevi Brahma Nirvanam Richadi. Esha Brahmi Sthita Partha Nainam Prapya Vimuhyati Sthitaswamandagalevi Brahma Nirvana Richadi. Yesha Brahmi Sthiti Partha Nainam Prapya Vimuhyati Sthitasya Mandakalevi Brahma Nirvanam Richadi. Right. Renuka Mataji.
Esa Brahmi Sthiti Partha Namam Prapya Vimuhyati Sthitavas Pasyam Antakalepi Brahma Nirvanam Gacchati. Hare
Right.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Ravi Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna.
एषा ब्राह्मी स्थितः पार्थ नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थित्वा स्यामन्तकाले अपि ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं गच्छति. हरे कृष्ण.
Right. Good. Chandra.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Esha Brahmi Sthita Partha Nainam Prapya Vimuhyati Sthitavatsyamantakale
Sthitvasyavi Andagalevi. Sthitvasya Mandagalevi.
Sthitvasyamantakaalepi Brahma Nirvanam Vichati.
Okay. Esha Brahmi. Brahmi, not Brahmi. Esha Brahmi Sthita Partha. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha.
Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha.
Right. Right, Ramya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. If you want, you can read both the verses.
हाँ. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. विहाय कामान्य सर्वान् पुमांश्चरति निःस्पृहा निर्ममो निरहङ्कार स शान्तिम् अधिगच्छति एषा भ्रामिस्थितिः पार्था नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थित्वा स्याम् अन्धकालेऽपि ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमृच्छति हरे कृष्ण प्रभु
Hare Krishna, right? You can read the translation.
That is the way of spiritual and godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered. Being so situated, even at the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So we are coming to end of the chapter. And Krishna is defining who is us to the prajna and what is his final destination. How he achieves Brahma Nirvanam. So before that, he has mentioned that desires normally come to even the Siddha Prajna. Because as long as you have got this body, you have some needs, some desires to satisfy, and desires automatically flow into this person, but he is not disturbed by that. Apuryamanam ajala pradishtam. So he gives an example of a sea which is being flooded by rivers continuously flowing into it during the rainy season, but it is not overflowing. It is filled but not overflowing. Just like that, a person, a Krishna conscious person who is steadfast with Siddha Prajna, although desires come to him, he has no desire to fulfill that. He is not disturbed. He is not put into anxiety. For us, we are always agitated. Continuously, we are agitated because this is basically a product of Rajogun. Mode of passion. So mode of passion gives you so many desires, supply with so many desires, which it wants to be fulfilled. But person who is situated in Siddha Prajna is above this world, is above these modes. That will explain later. And but instead, a person who is materially oriented, although maybe very intelligent, he may have secured high positions, he may have amassed vast wealth, he must have great contacts, good family, everything is there, which normally people will consider a man to be very successful when he achieves all these things, because they appreciate his intelligence, they appreciate his capacity and his tenacity to achieve determination, everything. But that person is unable to check the flow of desires that continuously flood him. He's a prey to his senses. Externally, he may look very successful and happy, but internally, he's always very miserable. That is the nature of modes. You may appear to be happy, you may appear to have everything, all facilities, but inside, you're getting burned out. There's a vacuum feeling because you're searching for something which is not obtainable in this material world. So Srimad Bhagavatam says, one intelligent person never searches for anything that is available between Satyaloka and Padala. The 14 worlds, which we have discussed in the last one, we'll come to it later. We'll describe all those 14 worlds, starting from upper planetary systems, the topmost planet is, which is the topmost planet, Chandra? In the whole planetary system, which is the topmost planet?
Goloka Vrindavan.
No, material planets. In the material planets. Goloka is a spiritual planet.
Satyaloka.
Yes, Satyaloka. Who is residing in Satyaloka? Who is residing? Brahma, right. And which is the bottom? Padala, yes. Hellish planets, Padala. So in those 14 planets, a very intelligent person never searches out for something which is available in these 14 planets. He looks for something that is not available in these planets. Because he knows that whatever is available in these planets will come to him by due course of time. maybe in this life, maybe next life, or maybe in this species or some other species, without making any effort for that, it will come to him. Whether he takes an effort or whether he doesn't take an effort, all these things will come to him. Or so many births, or transmigrating through so many species. How many lakhs of species there are? How many lakhs?
84 lakh species.
Yes, 84 lakh species are there. And you are transmigrating. So in many of these species, you get all the comforts, all those desires which you want to be fulfilled. But which is not available in these logas, in these not species, that is what intelligent person will search out, and that is Krishna consciousness. So to get Krishna consciousness, to achieve Krishna consciousness, what you have to do, you have to give up all the desires, which is given verse 71. Vihaya kaman yasarvan. Yasarvan. Sarvan kaman. All the material desires you have to give up. Niranjana. It says Niranjana. There's a, what do you call, having no material desires. Nishkinjana, not Niranjana, sorry, Nishkinjana. Nishkinjana means kinchitabi. Kinchi means not even a fraction. Not even a fraction of material desires is existing in this person, the Puman, who is a Krishna consciousness person. He is Nispriha. What is Nispriha means? Nispriha means desireless. Because he has given all the material desires, now he has become desireless. And being desireless, what happens? He doesn't claim false proprietorship. He doesn't say, this is mine. All these have been acquired by me, by my effort. So they're my own. I own them. He knows that everything is owned by Krishna. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Everything belongs to Krishna. Nothing belongs to him. So since he is desireless, he doesn't claim false, he doesn't make a false claim that this thing belongs to me. Sometimes we feel that this table is mine, this mobile is mine, this dress is mine, this car is mine, this country is mine. I belong to India, I'm an Indian. All this so-called proprietorship of which is coming out of ahankara, false ego. False ego creates all these things. So once Srila Prabhupada was in Melbourne, so this the journalists, they started questioning him regarding Krishna consciousness. How this spreads Krishna consciousness is that some few devotees will go to many countries, set up a center, start preaching, inviting people for satsang, conducting Nama Sankirtan, and slowly, the center will be firmly established, and few other centers will be opened in this country. And after that, after a few 5 or 6 months, Srila Prabhupada will come in. By the time Srila Prabhupada will be made known to other people, and when he comes, people are rejuvenated. They get so much charged up. He pumps up everyone. That is a usual way ISKCON developed so many centers, so many temples all over the world. In Prabhupada time, he constructed more than 110 temples in a short period of 12 years. So when devotees first came to Australia, they started up center, and then after a few months, Srila Prabhupada came, and this journalist was asking him, Srila Prabhupada, do you think that your presence in Australia is going to develop Krishna consciousness, expand Krishna consciousness in Australia? So Srila Prabhupada replied, We don't make any distinction between Australia, Canada, Japan, Singapore, UK, France, Netherlands, South Africa, India, Pakistan. No. For us, everything belongs to Krishna. You have made these geographical bifurcations, claiming this piece of land as yours, saying this is my country. That is his other person's country. So Australia, you people residing in Australia think that you are Australians. But for us, everything belongs to Krishna. So we go to from one country to another country very freely, just like a businessman who wants to sell his products. Businessman who wants to sell his products will travel all the countries. They don't mind. He doesn't mind which country. As long as people are interested in buying his products, commodities, he will go there. Just like that, we are like businessmen. We are spreading Krishna consciousness everywhere. And if some intelligent persons take up Krishna consciousness, we are happy. What is Australia? Everything is the same. Same mountains, same rivers, same buildings, same soil. Everything is the same. So that way, the idea of this journalist was to catch Krishna, Prabhu's ego. When he says that, very veiled question says that your presence in Australia is going to expand Krishna consciousness, means he is, if he says yes, then that means he's a great person. He himself agrees that he's a great person. Suppose out of modesty, he may very modest, he may say, no, it's not like that. Everyone is making effort. Some modest reply can give. But Prabhupada neither gave very proud answer, neither he gave a modest answer. He just got other person's ego regarding his own country. He was very proud of being an Australian. So that way, we have to think that we are not Indians, we are not Hindus, we are not belonging to a particular community, we are not belonging to a particular family. These are all based on body consciousness. Because very simple. Now in this birth, you are all this. You are an Indian, you are a Hindu, you are born in this family, your parents, father is this, your mother is that, your son is like that. This is because in this life you are having this. But in the next life, everything is going to disappear. Everything is going to change. So when you are in this life, when you are Hindu, you will be fighting against other people, or maybe other countries, but in the next life you are in some other place, then you will be fighting against the same place, the same country which you were before. So that is meaningless. So this is because of a false notion that you are identifying yourself with the body. But Krishna conscious person, he is nirmamo, he doesn't have any possessiveness, he doesn't have any false ego. And that person achieves peace. Now, you may think that peace is a desireless situation. It's not like that. How can anybody live without desires? Is it possible, Ravi Prabhu?
No, Prabhu.
Why you have desires? Why you have desires?
Because this is the likes or material
Yes, you
body.
have life. Yes, exactly. You have life. You are a living entity. You are not a dead wood.
Dead wood.
You are not a rock piece. You are not mud. You are a living entity. A living entity means there is always desires. And there will be activities also. But in pure consciousness, the living entity, the soul, his activities are always dovetailed or fixed on Krishna. In the conditioned life, when you are under the influence of these modes, then you have material desires. Now, this Krishna conscious person has given up material desires. Doesn't mean that he has given up all the desires. No. He has desires left, and that is to render devotion service to Krishna. Now, there was a philosopher called J. Krishnamurti. Was very famous. He was contemporary of Srila Prabhupada. I think he was also preaching all over the world. When Srila Prabhupada came to America at that time, this Krishnamurti was very famous right from 1920s because he was, promoted that way. There was a big organization called Eastern Star Organization, something like that. I forget that now. It's basically Theosophical Society. One Annie Besant was there, and another German was there. And both together, they promoted J. Krishnamurti and made him into a very great teacher. Ultimately, J. Krishnamurti left the same organization from which he was promoted, saying that this is conditioning. But then he set up his own organization. So his philosophy was that all the Vedas condition you, all the spiritual masters, they are, conditioning you only. He was again, he claimed himself to be an agnostic. He never says that he's a believer. He doesn't say he's not a believer, he's not an atheist, he's an agnostic. Agnostic means one who doesn't know whether there is God or not. So in Madras, you'll find a big center of this one in Greenways Road.
Theosophical Society of
Theosophical Society is still, but J. Krishnamurti has separated himself from Theosophical Society, and he had set up his own organization, and he has got a big office or building. Then he has got a few schools. A school in Chennai, there is a school. Then there is a Andhra Pradesh. What's the name of the place where he was born? There's another school. He has got few schools. So his philosophy is slightly different. Not say means it is basically what you can call ascending process. In philosophy, you have ascending and descending. Descending means you hear from a bona fide source, which is called Shruti, Vedas, Shabda Pramana. From Vedas, from the Shrutis, from scriptures, from a bona fide source, you receive the truth. This is called descending. Ascending means you find out on your own by silencing yourself. So he's talking about alertness, all those things. He has written a lot of books, and he decries the guru system. So Srila Prabhupada says that, okay, you said you have no guru, then why do you write so many books? If you are writing books, you are giving speeches, means that you are acting as a guru. You are trying to say something, your philosophy, you're trying to speak to others, you're trying to convince the other person who is listening to you, which means you are acting as a guru only. So there are so many contradictions. And he was saying that there is no desire. All desires are the same level, platform. He says that a 3-year-old boy may like chocolate. A 5-year-old boy may like a tricycle. A 15-year or 18-year-old boy, a young man, may go for motorcycle or car. A 25-year-old man may look for a good girl as a wife. Then at all the ages, he gets so many desires. And maybe at the age of 50 or 60, desires for Krishna. So what is this difference? Every desire from age of 2 to same whatever age you are going to live up. So many desires. What is the difference between one desire and another desire? It's all a process of mind only. So this person, he cannot distinguish between matter and spirit. He refuses to distinguish. Everything for him, everything is same. Okay, for a totally Krishna conscious person, everything is same, because the matter is coming from Krishna only, and the matter is used for Krishna's service, it becomes spiritualized. But a person who is conditioned by material attitude, matter is spiritual, but material means the wrong conception that we are matter is material. That is called, are you getting it? I think. So that is material. The material means you are considering yourself to be matter, but matter, you are not matter. You are spirit only. You are in superior energy of Krishna. Matter is also energy of Krishna, which is also eternal. Krishna confirms that in the 13th chapter. Matter is also eternal. But the transformation of the matter into material elements, starting from Mahatattva to other 24 elements, that is temporary. And when you identify with these materials, elements, then that means you are conditioned. And that conditioned state, all the desires are material desires. They have to be given up. But in when you're in a liberated state, when you are spirit soul, you are servant of Krishna, that desires entirely different from these material desires. So this point, these people cannot understand. You need a teacher like Srila Prabhupada to teach you very clearly that there is no thing like a desireless state. Or rather, a spiritual desire, a person who is interested in having a desire to serve Krishna is actually a desireless person. Nispruha. So, he persons know that, therefore he does not falsely claim proprietorship for anything. Thus, this transcendent knowledge is based on self-realization, namely that knowing perfectly that every living being is an eternal part and parcel of Krishna. And that is our Swarupa. So he doesn't have false claims. And that person is desireless and he sees and he becomes very peaceful. Nirmamo nirhangara sashantim adhigacchati. So, what is the ultimate destination of this person? The person who has in Krishna consciousness now. That is the last verse in which he says, Esha brahmi stiri partha nainam prapya vimukshyadi titasya andagalebi brahma nirvanam vrichyadi. So the person who is now Jivan Mukta, who is now completely liberated because he is detached from matter. Brahmi Sthiti means one person who is detached from matter, who has been blessed with this realization of self. So he becomes a self-realized person. He knows that we are this soul only, Brahmasmi. That state he has achieved. And if you can maintain that state till the point of death, till the time he leaves his body, then automatically he'll be transferred to the kingdom of God. That is Brahma Nirvanam. Brahma Nirvanam, according to Srila Prabhupada, means one who can enter the kingdom of Krishna, is Goloka Vrindavan. That means you should maintain this state. You should not fall down from this state. That Brahmi Sthiti means that the state in which you have realized yourself. So Vishwanath Chakravarti states that Brahmi Sthiti means that gives attainment of Brahman. One who has realized Brahman. How he has realized Brahman? Krishna says in verse 14, in chapter 14, 27 verse, he says that, 26, to verse 26, he says, Mam tu avyabhijarena bhakti yogena sevade sagunan samidedan brahma bhuyaya kalpade. Brahma bhuya means Brahman realized person. How is become Brahman realized? Because he has transcended all these gunas. 14th chapter towards the end, Arjuna asks this question. What are the same question which he has asked in 2nd chapter? The 4 questions. He asks the same questions in different way. He asks, what are the symptoms of a person who have transcended these modes of matter? Kairlingis Trin Gunadidan. He says, Kairlingis, what are the symptoms of a person who has transcended the 3 modes of nature? Which are the 3 modes? Chandra is there. Oh, she has left. Oh, Chandra is there. Right. You are listening very attentively. So, which are the 3 modes?
Sattvagunam, Rajogunam, Tamogunam.
Yes, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. These are the 3 modes. So, out of the 3, which is the best? Out of the 3.
Sattvagunam.
Out of good, the Sattva-guna is definitely better than Rajogun and Tamogun. But we have understood, we have studied that even the Sattva itself, it binds you. All the gunas, one meaning of guna means rope, that by which you are tied, you are bound up. So all the gunas binds you up, whether it is Rajogun, Tamogun, or Sattvagun, binds you up. So idea is to have to transcend all these gunas. So Arjuna asks, Kairlingis Trin Gunan Idan Adido Bhavadi Prabho. What are the symptoms by which we can know? Same question, the symptoms of the person who is transcendental to three modes. Kimachara, what is his behavior and how he appears? That is a different question. Kadam Chedan, how he has transcended this. So in verses 22-25, Krishna describes the symptoms of this person who has transcended these gunas. And then verse 26, he says how he has transcended. How? Mam avyabhicharena, by rendering undeviated devotional service to Krishna. That's the way we can transcend these modes. So Brahmistiti means person who has transcended the modes by rendering devotional service to Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada says this Brahmistiti stage can be achieved by any person at any stage of his life. Even towards the end, suppose he has not come to Krishna consciousness till the last moment, even the last moment only he has accepted Krishna consciousness, come into Krishna consciousness, that person can also transcend this gunas. He can become Brahmistiti and enter to Krishna's kingdom. And there is a narration in Srimad Bhagavatam of King Katwanga Maharaj. Katwanga Maharaj was a great king. He was very famous. Well, was very famous and very valiant that when the demons attacked Devas, Suras, Devendra, the king of Devas, he requested the help of Katwanga Maharaj. So Katwanga Maharaj obliged Indra. He went to that heavenly kingdom and fought with demons, and he defeated them. So long stay he had in heavenly planet. Then Indra was pleased with Katwanga Maharaj, and Katwanga Maharaj asked him, how much time I have to live now? And Indra says that your time is coming up, you're nearing the end of your time. In a very few minutes or a few hours, you will leave this body. Immediately, Katwanga Maharaj said, I want to go back to earth immediately and absorb myself in Krishna. Last minutes of my life, if I can absorb myself in Krishna, that I'll count myself to be very fortunate. So Indra, by his power, he sent Katwanga Maharaj to earth. And Katwanga Maharaj, towards the last few hours of his life, he absorbed himself in Krishna consciousness, and he also became transferred to Brahmaloka, Krishna Loka. So it doesn't matter what time, what age, but of course, it is always better to get age of 5 years like Chandra. At that age, what is that advantage if you are entering Krishna consciousness at very young age? Srimad Bhagavatam Prahlad Maharaj is Kaumarim Eva Acharade Prajna. The consciousness should be developed. The intelligence should be developed at a very young age of 5 years. So what is the benefit or the great advantage? Ravi Prabhu, can you answer?
So at the time of when we are dying, means automatically Krishna name will come. Or we are practicing from long much. That's why.
So yes, correct. Long years. You are practicing for Krishna consciousness, uttering the name of Krishna for long years, 60 years, 65, 70 years. Then automatically, it is very easy for a person to remember Krishna at the time of death. Yes, that's a good point. Another point is that, anybody wants to add? See, we have all those impressions of previous life. Why we are born? Because we have done some work, some karma, some actions, which has caused us again to take a birth in the material world, take another form. And when you are taking a new body, old impressions of the previous life also accompany this body. It is stored in your mind. Many people say that children are innocent. Srila Prabhupada says no child is innocent. Because in the child, their impressions are there. And in the due course of time, these impressions will be activated and you will act according to those impressions, and again you will be born. But when you are entering Krishna consciousness at the age of very young age, these impressions will have no chance to come alive. Because you have started chanting Hare Krishna mantra, you have started Bhagavad Gita and everything devotion service, and the devotion service will replace this. It's like that overwriting the hard disk. In the hard disk, you write so many files are there, and if you cannot erase it actually. The one best way is to overwrite it. So overwriting means all the old impressions in this hard disk have been overwritten by the Krishna conscious devotion service. So he is in a very, very safe platform. Like Ravi said, last minute he can remember. Then of course, again, he has got long years of preaching also. He can benefit others. But even it being so, even if you are entering at the very last period of your life, say age of after 50 years or 60 years or 70 years, even then, if you use your intelligence and you are very serious, you understand the dire necessity, the truth of Krishna consciousness, the absolute nature of truth of Krishna consciousness, and you appreciate that, and then you follow it up very stringently, very dedicatedly, diligently, then you can also be assured of going back to Krishna. So that is the advantage of sweet advantage of Krishna. Okay, you enter at the age of 70, 75, but you wholeheartedly embrace Krishna consciousness and practice Krishna consciousness as per instructions given by Krishna in scriptures, as per instructions of the spiritual master. You are also assured of a birth in Golok Vrindavan. What can be more beautiful? That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Even a short period of practicing Krishna consciousness, provided it is very diligently done, will ensure your safe passage. So, Krishna says, if you can maintain this, or even if you are attaining this towards the end also, that person, Brahma Nirvana Mrichari, he will enter this kingdom of Krishna. So that ends the second chapter, which is actually essence of this whole Bhagavad Gita. Basically, so many yogas are there in Bhagavad Gita: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. But second chapter predominantly deals with Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga with a sprinkling of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga I just mentioned. And a glimpse of Bhakti Yoga has been given. So now all those yogas systematically, one by one, Krishna will explain from third chapter onwards: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, everything. And Bhakti Yoga starts from seventh chapter. So that will be explained Krishna coming chapters. So next Friday we'll have pentathlon. So please very seriously start practicing. Renuka Mataji, you can also participate in pentathlon. It's very interesting. And it gives you a chance to be very seriously even study this Bhagavad Gita. You also have to prepare yourself, learn the slokas, translation, understand translation, then read the purport. Some key sentences of purport will be asked, and from that key sentence you have to understand which is sloka mentioned. So these are the there are 5 parts to this pentathlon. That's why we made it pentathlon. 5 parts. First part is the first word, a verse A first word of a verse will be given. From that first word, like this, Esha Brahmi Sthiti. Sir, if you say Esha, then you have to understand Esha Brahmi Sthiti Pada. This is the 72nd verse of second chapter, and you have to recite the verse. That is one part. The second part is you will be given a phrase, Brahma Nirvana Richadi. That is a phrase. From that phrase, you have to identify the verse and recite that. Next, a translation will be given on any of these verses. The competitions will be from 39 verses. 38 is already over, from 39 to 72. From 39 to 72. So from a translation, you have to identify the verse. And then from Bhagavad Vani, in the purport, some key sentence. And from that sentence, you have to identify the verse. And then you will be shown some pictures based on these verses. And from those pictures, you have to identify. So this is basically very intelligent things. So if you are very serious, you can answer all these questions. So everybody, please participate. Don't miss out anyone. Chandra, you prepared? You started preparing?
No, Prabhu.
Why? There's only 7 days left now. There are 33 verses.
Yes.
So every day, now you have to study 5 verses at least. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu.
Study 5 verses every day. So you have 1 week. So very serious. Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow's Sunday. So Sunday, your holiday. You try to learn more. Okay. Right. Thank you very much. So Devi Prabhu, you can recite.
Prabhu, now I am on the way to office now. Night shift.
Huh? I know
I am
you're
going
saying.
now office.
Yeah, you're so how will you get the book now?
Book Monday I will come, Prabhu, morning.
Fine. Then you collect the book on Monday, right?
Yes.
Okay, you can sing that Narsing Kirtan.
Prabhu, that's what I'm telling. I'm going office. I'm riding cycle.
I see you are getting ready. Okay, I'm sorry. Right.
Okay.
Okay, ready, Kamaji? You can recite this Kirtan, Narsim.
You can ask, what's the name? I can't get the name of it.
You practice daily, and after a few times, you can a few days, a few weeks, you can recite that. Okay, Chandra, you can sing.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlada Hiranyakashipo Vakshaha Shilatankanakalaye To Narsimha Bharato Narsimha Yatu Yam Prato Narsimha Bhave Narsimha Hidaye Narsimha Narasimha Marvin Sharanam Navate Tavakara Kamalavare Aka Adbhuta Shunka Melita Hiranyakashipo Tanupranga Ishavadreta Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol 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 Hari
उग्रं वीरं
विष्णु जगन्तं सर्वतोमुखं
नरसिंहं भीष्णं भद्रं मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीष्णं भद्रं मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं श्री नरसिंह जय जय श्री नरसिंह राधेशा जय पद्मा मुख
पद्मा
जय जय श्री नरसिंह प्रहलादेशा जय पद्मा मुख पद्मा शुद्ध भक्ति विनाशकारी श्री नरसिंह देव भगवान की
जय
वैष्णव भक्त शेष महाराज की जय गो प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि बोल
वांछा कल्पद्रुवश्च
पासिन्दुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
नंदकोടി वैष्णव वृंद की जय
जय
शिला प्रभात की
जय
जय गो प्रेमानंदे।